Arsenal are advancing in a move to sign Benjamin Sesko, with Andrea Berta trying to secure Arsenal's #1 centre-forward target. Today we'll get all the breaking news from Fabrizio Romano, find out if Arsenal are close to agreeing personal terms, as well as getting a massive update on Rodrygo. We'll break down a masterclass on Martin Zubimendi, and reveal what Arsenal's big confirmed news could massively change our future. Yo, what is going on, guys? My name is Bass14 and welcome back to your boys channel, and I hope you guys are doing sensational. Things are finally happening, starting to finally advance. So as per my friends, we are here to break it all down. So smash a like in this video if you do enjoy, and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Help your boy on the road to 300,000 subscribers. But starting off with the big confirmed Arsenal news. For as much as fans are demanding signings, investment this summer transfer window, since the arrival of new Spawn director Andrea Berta, a key priority has also been retaining what you already have, with talks ongoing with Bukayo Saka and William Saliba over brand new contracts. It seems like Arsenal have finally got one over the line. We're talking about star centre-back Gabriel Magalhaes, teasing the fans yesterday with an Instagram story, a photo of the Emirates Stadium with a heart emoji. Less than 24 hours later, we got some massive confirmation. As Arsenal confirmed themselves, Gabriel is here to stay. Our number 6 has committed his future to Arsenal, signing a long-term Arsenal contract until 2029. You'll fall in love, I know you will, because our king at the back is here to stay. Seen here alongside Mikel Arteta and Andrea Berta, with a massive smile on his face. As Gabriel says, Arsenal is an amazing club and I'm so proud to sign a new contract. I love this club, I love the supporters, my teammates. I love this stadium. I'm so proud and thank you for all your support. We continue together for the future. We're talking about a centre-back that has been nothing short of colossal. The first ever player to commit to the Mikel Arteta project. Summer 2020, in the same window Arsenal signed Thomas Partey, we had no European football, we were all the way down in 8th. Despite interest from Everton and Chelsea, both teams that were better than Arsenal at the time, Gabriel saw something that many didn't, having scored more goals and kept more clean sheets than any other defender since arriving in the Premier League. 17 goals from centre-back and a whopping 57 clean sheets. Not to mention that in his first year, playing alongside the likes of Mustafi, David Luiz and Holding. We have seen a player come to Arsenal, evolve year by year, and for me develop into a top 5 centre-back in the world. As Gabriel says perfectly, I arrived here as a young player and after almost 5 years, I am so happy and I've learnt a lot. I am so proud of myself. It's an amazing journey. I hope I win trophies with this club because I love this club and my family loves this club too. A player that could have been a shoo-in for the Arsenal player of the season. With Gabriel on the Arsenal 11, Arsenal are much better. In 160 games, scoring more goals per game, conceding far less, with an insane 63.7% win rate, averaging 2.1 points per game. This, my friends, has been a long time coming. Despite reports of massive offers from Saudi Arabia, 27 years of age in the peak of his powers, ready to win now. And it also has a massive impact elsewhere, with Gabriel being a massive figure behind the scenes, with the likes of Saka and Saliba also looking for new contracts. When you've got a key player committing to a long-term deal, surely it helps their chances of signing new contracts. And according to John Cross, Gunners Chiefs are now confident that Saliba wants to stay despite interest from Real Madrid, with the French defender happy in London and believed to be ready to commit. All eyes now for me turn towards Bukayo Saka, with quite a few reliable recent reports confirming Arsenal have advanced in a deal to sign Saka to a new contract. Then of course you've got William Saliba with his partner in crime committing to a long-term deal. These two are not just excellent players on their own, but they are also one almighty centre-back partnership. But in terms of 2024-25, a year for many Arsenal fans to forget, one of our star players and one of the shining lights was definitely Declan Rice. And as Arsenal have now confirmed, from heroic tackles to jaw-dropping free kicks, with a whopping 52% of votes, Declan Rice is our official player of the season. After back-to-back years of Martin Odegaard winning, Arsenal have got a brand new player of the season, with Bukayo Saka in second and David Raya in third. Rice has been impeccable in the Arsenal midfield, playing against the likes of Real Madrid and thriving at the highest level, developing more and more into a fantastic number 8. It makes you wonder going forwards, how does the Arsenal midfield evolve next? That's why we have to talk about Martin Zubimendi, starting alongside Arsenal's Mikel Merino, as Spain beat France 4-3 in what was one of the games of the season. This was truly spectacular view, as Arsenal's own Mikel Merino was on the score sheet, dropping a fantastic 7.5 rating, 1 goal, 1 key pass, and of course 11 of 18 ground balls won. As Spain raced into a 4-goal lead, with no Saliba at the back for France, Konate was getting ambushed, as Mikel Merino scored against him for the 3rd time this season. Prior to arriving to Arsenal, he was seen as more of a box-to-box midfielder. But having seen Mikel Arteta recognize his goal-scoring ability, you can now see Spain taking inspiration, using Merino in a free-flowing role, allowing him to crash the box and arrive into goal-scoring positions, having now scored 2 international goals in 3 games in 2025. We've also got to talk about potential future Arsenal teammate Martin Zubimendi, dropping only a 6.3 rating despite completing 97% of passes and 2 out of 2 accurate long balls. The stats for me do not do justice. This was a fantastic midfield metronome performance, at the base of Spain's midfield dictating play, playing a massive part of the Marino goal with a lovely incisive pass to cut through the lines, as well as a fantastic ball for the Spanish fourth. For many Arsenal fans, the first example of what Mikel Arteta sees, playing in an elite system alongside top players. There's a reason why Zubimendi was thriving. Whereas Sociedad, he's not in the best environment. When you've got runners around him and players providing options, Zubimendi certainly comes alive. But in a game where you also had reported Arsenal target Nico Williams thriving, an 8.4 rating with 1 goal and 1 assist, the performance that caught many fans' eyes was someone else. We are talking about French substitute Ryan Cherki, off the bench and dropping an 8.8 rating with 1 goal and 1 assist, 3 key passes, 2 big chances created. For a player reportedly available for 30 million euros, Man City advancing and trying to get a deal done. The entire footballing world was asking the same question after the game. Why on earth is no one else going in for it? For me, it all comes down to environment. Cherki is an elite creator in the final third and has fantastic ability to find passes. But without the physical power of, let's just say, a Florian Wirtz, he will only ever really thrive in teams that have the ball in that final third. Hence why Man City team is a perfect fit. It has been a bit of a strange window, with Liverpool attacking for Florian Wirtz and signing their attacking midfielder, Man City closing into Ryan Cherki. There will be Arsenal fans asking the question of why aren't Arsenal in for those players? And for me, there is one clear reason why, and his name is Ethan Nwaneri, a player who has just been named in the England Under-21 squad for the upcoming Euro finals. From letting go of Fabio Vieira and Emil Smith-Rowe, to no real interest in these elite attacking midfielders. For me, Ethan Nwaneri has everything it takes to be the future Arsenal number 10. If we're talking raw quality, the ability to beat a man and find the pass as well. Even at 17, we saw the glimpses. Nwaneri thriving in games in the Premier League. I always think about that game against Leicester, from a fantastic assist to Mikel Merino, to constantly causing issues, beating his man time and time again. Nwaneri is a profile that you simply need to platform, which is exactly why I find it very confusing that in the crunch games towards the end of last season, Mikel Arteta didn't turn to him. Maybe he was protecting him, maybe he was being patient, but the fact that he started Arsenal's final game of the season against Southampton playing as a number 10, 2025-26 is going to be massive. Maybe a year for Nwaneri to break into the first team, take over from the Arsenal captain Martin Odegaard. But if we're talking about attacking midfield wonderkids, what about reported target Konstantinos Karitas? According to the very reliable Gunner blog, Arsenal are among the clubs that are tracking the Greece midfielder, getting expected fee that could rise as high as 30 million euros to all the way to 40. As of yet, there has been no contact between the two clubs. Any deal now would be formalised on a later date, or involve a loan back to Genk, with them not turning 18 until November. Karitas is not eligible to join Arsenal until the winter window. You then think about all the recent reports that have come out, claiming that Arsenal have allocated funds towards Per Mertesacker to go and invest in youth talent. It's no surprise that Arsenal would have interest in his player, and it seems like going forward we might have more players scouts, as according to Fabrizio Romano, former Juventus head of scouting and Granada director, Matteo Tognuzzi is currently in advanced talks to sign for Arsenal. He will be a part of the team working under Andrea Berta, with the Athletic also confirming the departure of Jason Aito had created a space for Andrea Berta, who is now set to expand his team. And there's a reason why Andrea Berta has identified this man as a perfect man for Arsenal, having overseen fantastic youth signings during his time at Juventus, from names like Dusan Vlahovic to opportunity signings like Kenan Yildiz, as well as the current Real Madrid centre-back Dean Huijsen, from Arsenal attacking the market in Brazil to taking more risks in general. Every single year there are fantastic youth opportunities. For me, a market that Arsenal slacked for way too long, a problem that Andrea Berta seems to have identified. So with Matteo Tognuzzi set to arrive, could he be the man to finally get Arsenal active in that market? But moving on to the Benjamin Sesko advancement, a player that has become Arsenal's number 1 centre-forward target. Well, according to Miguel Delaney, Arsenal are continuing to do their most to sign Benjamin Sesko, despite the internal discussion on the price. He is Arsenal's preferred centre-forward option. Then we got a breaking update from Florian Plettenberg, confirming there have been new discussions between Arsenal and RB Leipzig in the last 48 hours. The deal is on. Talks are positive and ongoing, going as far as saying that Sesko is keen on a move to Arsenal. Negotiations with the player are progressing positively, with clear progress over personal terms. Arsenal are still yet to submit any official offer to RB Leipzig. The atmosphere between all parties is very fair and transparent, which was all fantastic news. The fact that Sesko wants to come to Arsenal and is keen on a move will not only give Arsenal a major upper hand in terms of personal terms, but also in trying to get a deal over the line. We have got a breaking update from Fabrizio Romano, who understands that Arsenal are now advancing in negotiations for Benjamin Sesko. After initial concrete talks reported last week, discussions are underway and proceeding well between all parties involved, players and club. No agreement yet or expected this weekend, but the deal is advancing, which says to me that Arsenal and Leipzig are getting closer and closer in terms of a price agreement, with some reports going as far as saying that Sesko has agreed a 5-year contract at Arsenal. That for me is jumping the gun, but the deal is definitely progressing, with even Philip Heinze reporting Leipzig are looking for an €80 million total package, with negotiations continuing. That, my friends, in pounds is 67 million for a striker who's just done 22 years of age, the leading under-21 goal scorer in all of Europe last season. In a market where United paid £75 million for Rasmus Højlund, £67 million for Benjamin Sesko, if Arsenal can agree a £67 million deal, that, my friends, is more than worth it. So after a report from Ryan Taylor confirming that RB Leipzig have asked the Slovenian FA to omit Benjamin Sesko from the upcoming international games, amid fear of injury that could jeopardise a transfer, with Sesko nursing a knee issue and currently following a rehab program, all things are pointing towards Arsenal closing into a deal in what was a priority for Andrea Berta to get a striker as soon as possible into the first week of the transfer window, and Arsenal seem to be getting closer. For a striker that has scored in many massive games, from Bayern Munich in the Bundesliga to Atletico Madrid in the Champions League, and if you look at this graphic here, you'll see that a lot of Sesko's goals are very important because nearly 50% of them are opening goals. A player that is able to break the deadlock, a key thing that Arsenal are looking to add going forwards. Sesko is clearly the number one target, but even in terms of the number two in Victor Gyökeres, Arsenal seem to be still there if things don't work out. That despite a breaking report from Ben Jacobs, claiming that Victor Gyökeres is open to joining Man United even without Champions League football, with no approach to Sporting just yet, Ruben Amorim is still in touch with the player. According to John Cross, Gyökeres still fancies a move to Arsenal if he gets the pick of his clubs this summer, as Sporting believe Gyökeres prefers Arsenal and the Premier League over interest from Spain and Italy. I have always said it and I'll still stand by it. Sesko or Gyökeres, Arsenal are still getting a win-win. Both profiles that elevate Arsenal going forwards. As we approach a brand new week, things could definitely get interesting. But talking about an intriguing report that came out of nowhere, according to Fabrizio Romano, Arsenal are now informed on a £5 million release clause for Kepa Arrizabalaga of Chelsea, seen as an option for a backup for David Raya. Initial talks are taking place to be informed on the deal's condition, as confirmed by Sky Sports, with even the reliable Gunnar Block confirming Arsenal have made Kepa a top target for the goalkeeping position, but is not discounting Arsenal despite David Raya being the established number one. For a player that has spent the last 2 years on loan, first at Real Madrid and then at Bournemouth, replacing a certain Neto that also signed last year on a short-term loan, this, my friends, has Andrea Berta written all over it. Arriving at Arsenal and vetoing a move for John Garcia, a player that he still believed was excellent. But when you've got a number one, the quality of David Raya, goalkeeping was never a weakness for Arsenal. Instead, all the focus had to go into the attack. So seeing a Premier League goalkeeper available for £5 million, I won't sit here and gaslight you guys and saying this is an amazing deal. Kepa by no means is a long-term goalkeeper, but the focus is here is to sign attackers and keep as much money as possible. But if the focus is here is to invest all our money into the attack, that, my friends, is something that I'm fully for. And according to Sky Sports, a left winger and a striker are the priority positions at Arsenal, and the club have a number of targets in each. Andrea Berta is understood to be gathering information on the best players in each position before deciding with Mikel Arteta which deals to execute. So having talked about a striker and seen the deal about Sesko, let's talk about our reported number one wide forward targets. Rodrygo goes of Real Madrid. As a hand of Arsenal exclusive confirmed, Arsenal have made Rodrygo the number one winger target this summer, with the Arsenal recruitment team in a unanimous agreement. Rodrygo is the player who could be the difference in the hunt for major silverware. Several key figures at Arsenal have spoken to Rodrygo, including first-team players, about life in Arsenal and North London. Other Premier League teams are involved, but Arsenal will present a strong financial offer if the player is placed on the market. But in terms of the current situation, as hand of Arsenal confirms, Rodrygo is set to have a meeting with Xabi Alonso regarding his future at Real Madrid. This meeting is yet to take place, but we can also exclusively reveal Rodrygo will try to emphasise his will to play on the left-hand side. The Brazilian feels this is where he can express himself best. Arsenal are willing to pull off an Ozil-esque transfer and compete with any club for the services of Rodrygo, should the player become available. It's the fact that Rodrygo wants to play on the left-hand side, an area that Real Madrid already have Vinicius Jr. and maybe even Kylian Mbappe, players that are seen as indispensable, and also the opportunity would be given. According to more reports out of Spain, Rodrygo is now likely to leave Real Madrid this summer. The club will demand at least €80 million fixed, and the final sale price will likely be around €100 million. Of course, a key thing is going to be that meeting. What is Xabi Alonso going to say? Is Rodrygo a part of his plans? But with Real Madrid active on the wide forward market, closing into the signing of Franklin Mastantuono, a wide forward out of Argentina for €45 million, a left-footed player that plays on the right-hand side, all things point towards Rodrygo becoming available. With a price tag around £70 million, this will not be a cheap deal. But at the same time, for Arsenal fans, we need to see ambition. Having only made 2 marquee signings in summer 2024, Ricardo Calafiori and Mikel Merino, neither above £40 million, followed by no signings whatsoever in January 2025. We have waited and waited for way too long to miss out on what could be one of the opportunities of the window. With Kvaratskhelia going to PSG back in January, when a potential top 10 winger in the world becomes available, regardless of the wages or the price tag, you have to find a way. When it comes to Rodrygo, there of course are parallels to a former Arsenal player. We're talking Alexis Sanchez, a castaway at Barcelona that became a star at Arsenal. The idea of Rodrygo alongside Sesko and Bukayo Saka, that's a front three that can cause mayhem. Different sorts of profiles but at the same time complementary. Rodrygo would be a massive upgrade on Gabriel Martinelli, a player that is blessed with a natural level of technical ability. What Martinelli needs to think about, Rodrygo is able to do subconsciously. So with all the focus on Arsenal closing into Benjamin Sesko, the Club World Cup will also be important for Rodrygo. Will he be starting or will he be on the bench? Arsenal fans, talk to me down below in the comments. If this was to be our front three going into next season, is that enough to go and win major honours? But that is the video there and there, so hopefully you guys have enjoyed. If you have, don't forget to smash a like and also subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you want to follow your boy on all of his social medias, then the links are down below in the description. But that was all of the latest Arsenal transfer news today, as Arsenal potentially closing the deal for Benjamin Sesko. My friends, I'll be here next week reporting every single thing and maybe even dropping a very special video. So stay tuned as always and I'll see you next time. Take care and a bit.